Be sure and tell them Large Marge sent ya.
In the 90s, we were just teeny tykes. We liked our movies and our bikes. We wanted to be DJs, but we were just teeny gals. So we went off to college and we remained best pals. 20 years later, we're still watching flicks and we're bringing you the feeling bit by bit. Sweetie and Sweetie are here to say it's the Large Marge Santa's podcast. Hey.
Guys, welcome to the Large Marge Sent Us podcast, your favorite podcast where two sweetie sisters talk about movies that shaped their childhood. I'm Sweetie with an IE.
And I'm Sweetie with a Y.
Today, I picked a movie that we're both not that familiar with. Shocking to many of our listeners, believe it or not. I've seen this movie one time.
One time.
Sweetie has seen it.
Zero
Times. So, poor form for LMSU. I'm embarrassed. Are you embarrassed?
Should we make a college or university for sweeties?
Every time I say
and we'll
that,
call it LMSU.
LMSU.
Yeah.
Totes. Wait, would it be LMSUU? Or just Large Marge University? Then it would be no.
Large Marge Sweeties University. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Send us university.
I don't know.
Anyway, so yes, controversial, guys, because we are not, not one of our favorite movies, but one definitely that is, came about when we were watching movies, and so I know you guys, a lot of you guys watched it and loved it, and for somehow we just flew over this one and we didn't latch on to it, but I like this movie a lot. Dare say I love this movie. It is Sister Act. And here is my hypothesis. Ready? Just throwing it out there. If I went to Large Marge Santa's University, LMSUU, doesn't really roll off the tongue.
Drop the second U.
Okay.
It's ridiculous.
If I went to LMSU, my thesis would be on, can I watch a movie with Whoopi Goldberg in it and not love it? This is my thesis.
I don't know. Probably not.
It might be more like a lab report. I might have to prove this because I'm really struggling here, guys. Because every movie I watch with Whoopi Goldberg, I'm in it, love it. This is great.
I'm sure she's done duds. She's got duds in there.
I'd like to try it out because I love that bitch.
Yeah.
Let's just put it out there.
So what was the one time you saw this? I didn't even know. I didn't even know about that.
I don't know. I think someone had it at I vaguely remember a Liz Peachy sleepover situation. She loved this series, both this one and the Sister Act 2 Back in the Habit. Great title. I mean, who made that up? They should be paid $1 million. That's awesome. They probably were. So from 1992. Great time for movies as a little kid. I feel in 1992, right? There's a lot of good comedies coming about at this time. And you know what's funny? Nuns are funny. Nuns are never not
Nuns
funny.
are pretty funny, yeah.
And they're always interesting, and it's always a fish out of water kind of thing when you put someone who, and this is usually the plots of these movies involving nuns, right? You take someone who is not a Catholic or lapsed or not religious at all, the exact antithesis, and you stick them in there and you're you gotta be a nun, and that's funny, right?
It's pretty funny.
Yeah. But you have never seen this movie, but you obviously knew of it, right?
Of course.
Yeah. As this has been a huge, I don't know how well it did when it first came out, but what the hell, IMDb and where do we rent this, Amazon or Vudu?
Maybe Voodoo.
Poor rating.
What was it on IMDb?
6.5. But I feel that's all movies on IMDb.
No, I don't know.
Just because the averages are so
I
so
don't
bullshit.
know. Yeah, it's an American classic.
It is an American classic.
No surprise that we would like this movie, obviously, because it caters to a lot of things that the sweeties love, which is singing. And
check.
Old ladies.
Check.
Maggie Smith.
Check.
Especially. And Whoopi.
Check.
So, and Kathy, what's her?
Najimy.
This is awful, but the last name that always comes to mind when I think of her face is, or when I think of her last name and how it's spelled, and I'm like, and then I struggle with it in my mind. I'm always like, Nagini? Nagini?
Maybe it was if she changed it.
It's confusing. But, oh my God, love those bitches. And so obviously we would love it. Also stories about like people that don't like each other at first and then become like BFFs is totally my jam.
Oh my God, totally. And like, right. And I love the plot lines that are like they both benefit from the relationship, right? And in this one being, you know, like Whoopi comes in and her character in the beginning, you're led to believe that she was in Catholic school, which, okay, fine. And hated it. Which like
led to believe you're showed.
Yeah, no. Sorry.
Allegedly she went to Catholic school. I think it was a dream sequence, but I don't know.
Bad way of putting that. I just don't think, I don't know. Are there a lot of black Catholics? I don't think so.
What? There's like a ton of black Catholics.
Are there? Why weren't there any black nuns?
Hello. Gospel? Anyone?
No, that's totally different. Gospel is like they're usually Methodists and like those religions down south, and not that all black people are in the south, but like there's not a lot of black Catholics. But she's in Catholic school and she's like, fuck this, which like most people are. I mean, not a lot of people come out of Catholic school and they're like, yeah, I want to be a nun. So anyway, but she really gets a lot from the relationship with these women and from with the Mother Superior and really cares about them. And then the Mother Superior obviously gets, you know, benefits from being what in the plot or the synopsis of this movie is Dolores is called a worldly person. It's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, we'll talk about it, but yeah, that's a way to describe her. Yeah. But yeah, it's one of those movies. It's like Uncle Buck, except with nuns. So we're like,
which
yes.
Which I feel like were so many 90s comedies and why we turned into such great people because like we had these movies. I'm sorry. These are such lovely, like heartwarming movies. I love it to bits. I don't know why you would fucking give this movie 6.5 stars. Fuck you, people on IMDb.
Fuck you.
It's amazing. You are moving along to the music. It's pretty funny. I read some review was like, won't have you rolling in the aisles. I'm like, I laughed out loud several times. I enjoyed it.
She loved it. She loved it. But yeah, so yeah, we got our girl Whoops, obviously. Whoopsie daisy. What's she doing lately? Where's she been?
Everything. Well, is she still in The View? Her IMDb is insane.
Yeah.
Like you have to scroll for like 5 years to get to the movies just in the 90s. Oh, man. She does so much work. She
but
has
I just
tons
wanted
of voice
to do more. Oh yeah, but I wanted to do movies again
too.
and like have these
like
these fun roles.
A real
here.
heyday. Here's one when I was scanning through the IMDb. Do you remember Bogus? Did we talk about this last time? Holy shit.
I don't know if it was last time, but we've definitely talked about it. But,
tearjerker.
Wow. Yeah, we should rewatch that one. I don't know.
Haley Joel Osment.
I remember much of that.
Parents die. Whoopi inherits him. He has this little imaginary friend, Gerard Depardieu.
Yes, I remember that. He's bogus. But how did she didn't just inherit a kid? Is she connected to them?
Yeah,
what's
I think they're
the
her friends
situation?
or something.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I hope no one ever leaves their child to me. And I mean, if you do, that's fine. But like, man, I'm not. That's not.
Also,
I'm like
plot of many
Diane
films.
Keaton in Baby Boom. Like, I'll take the pen.
Do a lot of people have
pin.
no relatives?
Wait, did we decide if it was a pen or a pin that she thought she was getting from her cousin?
Who would give someone a pen?
It could be a nice fountain collector's pen. I don't know. But yeah, Whoops, love her so much. Harvey Keitel, you know, good career as a slimy slimeball mobster. Continues it here.
Typecast.
And then you've got Kathy Nanjiani,
Jimmy,
who is Peach. I love her.
Probably the best part
hilarious.
of this film.
Breakout
role,
character.
Right? Yeah.
Breakout character. And then Dame Maggie Smith.
Totally forgot she was in this until I started Googling images and I was like, is that Maggie Smith? Crazy. Also, like crazy, she's looked 90 years old for like literally the last 30 years.
So I was thinking about that and I disagree now because in this movie, she only had like 3 wrinkles. It's really just like under her eyes. You see her like, okay, yeah, she's starting to get old. Okay. She was
That's true.
60?
But also, here's another theory. Ready? All nuns look old.
All nuns look old. That was my other theory.
Yeah. Because when you have no hair, you really look a lot older.
It doesn't,
You're pale.
The outfit,
you can't see anything, features of your face.
The outfit doesn't do anything for you, ladies.
It doesn't. They really need to change that.
You gotta get with the times.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's like in the episode of Sex and the City, they don't wear the thing anymore. She said she hasn't worn the full garb. So I think they have gotten with the times. But yeah, woof, is a rough one. Yeah. This is like the nun. It would only be worse if it was one of the flying nun ones. That's like really extreme.
Yeah,
You're
I
like,
don't know what decade of nun style that was, but good thing that went
that's gone.
Went way.
It's gone.
Yeah, tricky outfit there. Yeah. I would definitely go with the junior nun outfit. That was pretty cute.
Much cuter.
I know.
Just
but then
like
once
hood.
she marries God, that's over. Like, it takes time.
Yeah.
It takes time.
Bullshit.
But yeah, awesome film, and obviously the soundtrack is amazing because you have the character, Whoopi Goldberg's character, Dolores, is a lounge singer, and she does all doo-wop songs. She's in a Supreme-ish kind of band, singing group. And so it's all these great doo-wop songs that then obviously get married with the church songs. And then you just have this whole new genre, which are this is amazing. And I will challenge anyone to not bop your head, tap your foot to those songs. They're so good. They're universally very well, treasured songs. And most people know them.
I don't think I knew them.
You didn't know
I mean,
them?
maybe, but
I love
the
that,
last
that
one,
genre.
maybe.
So that's a real big.
Yeah,
I'm a big
some
fan
of
of
them
that.
I was like, I thought this was maybe a gospel song.
Oh no.
But yeah, good times.
I know.
Good shit.
So good. So I'm glad we gave this one the old LMSU try. College, get it?
I get it.
And we're here to talk about it.
To talk about
one habit at a time.
Right now.
All right.
Okay.
It's time for the sweetie synopsis.
Yes, it is.
I will follow him wherever he may go. Oh, the one I wanted to do was nothing in the world could take me away from my God.
My God.
Good one.
Dolores Van Cartier.
Van Cartier. She's Dutch.
Is that her name? That's what it said on the thing, and I was like, what? Yeah. That is not what I thought. Is a lounge singer in Reno. She's not loving it. No one's paying attention. They're in this shitty casino that is just old men drinking at the bar. What's happening? Terrible. So she's got a boyfriend. The deal with the boyfriend is he is a mobster. So
does she know that though?
Okay, that was my question. Because when this all happened, she's like, "What's happening?" Yeah. And I'm like, "Did she not know he was a mobster? What did she think he was? What did she think he was doing? Did he own that casino?
He owned the casino hotel. Yeah, and I think that, and obviously her boss, right? So they're in the relationship because of that. But I don't think she knows the extent of it. Because he obviously has a lot of money because he owns a casino. So maybe she thought that was it. But he's into some other things.
Yeah. Think about it, ladies. Think it through. But so she is unhappy. She gets a present from him. He won't leave his wife. Yada yada. Same old thing. He gives her this is purple fur coat, and it says his wife's name in it, embroidered. Hello? You're giving... Okay, yeah, this is a problem here. So she's like, okay, this is it. I'm leaving. I'm going to bring back this coat to him, and I'm out of here. See you later. So she goes down there. Terrible timing because Vince, is he Vinny? No, I think he's Vince. Vince is about to pop some guy in the head with
glad you're using the mafia terminology.
Silencer. He's going to waste him. So they kill him. And it's right when she walks in and she's like, what the fuck? And then they kind of just are like, what? Oh, are you coming here to take me for the coat? Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, I love you. Bye. And then she's like, okay, bye. And then I think she can kind of hear them talking through the door. Yeah. Was that implied?
Yes.
And they're like, can we trust her? I don't think so. We got to get her. So then they chase after her and she freaks out. She gets away, goes to the cops. Very smart. She's a smart gal. And tells them the whole sitch. They're pretty excited because they've been trying to nail this guy, as they usually do with mobsters, for a while. But, they're slippery suckers. They're sliding all over the place. They're like, oh, I have this other business that's actually my business, so you can't trace my money. You don't know what I do.
Laundering.
You don't know who I kill. So I don't kill anyone. What? So, but now they have an eyewitness, so they're super excited. However, they know that he's got a hit out on her, so they have to hide her. So where is a good place to hide someone that you don't want the mob to find?
convent.
In a convent, sure. You know what? I would have said, okay, there's something like Vince would never look for, the last place he would look for you is in a convent. But in the beginning, he tells a story about how he was like at confession. So I'm like, okay, maybe
he is Catholic.
Right. So it's like, maybe that's not the best, even though that's not what happens. He doesn't find out in that way. But like, maybe should have made her Jewish. I'm just saying. I don't know. Maybe a different place. I don't know.
But they do hide her what seems to be a church in San Francisco. So at least there's like some distance with that. And,
I mean, go to
But he does go to
Alaska.
church. So like, yeah, that is a little sketchy.
And it's just
I agree.
supposed to be temporary until the trial. And then she
trial's
gives
only going to be a month away.
testimony. But typically, when you give a witness in like a mob case, you have to go into witness protection anyways. So she could have just like left and come back. Maybe
Which is always really
he should have told her
fascinating.
that when he called her.
Again, another good plot for any movie. You want to make
God,
an
I
interesting
love
movie.
it.
Do like a witness
I
protection
love
thing.
it. What if
So fascinating.
what if I was in the witness protection program and you didn't know?
What would you pick? Where would you want to go?
No, I mean, like, what if I was like not really your sister, and as a baby I was witness to a crime?
That's not how it worked. It would have to be like a friend you just met, and you're like, oh, okay, and they have this whole new life.
Okay. Wait, what would I do? What would I say I was, or what was?
No, like where would you want to be hidden?
Well, I don't think you get to pick. I think that the cops like hand you a new identity, basically, and then you're like forced to.
Well,
go.
it's not usually
And
like
it's usually
you're in
somewhere
hiding.
boring and
Yeah.
and like not inconspicuous and like it's so
Middle
it'd
America,
probably be like
a lot of witness
Utah.
protection
I'd probably have to
program.
become like a Mormon or something
Yeah.
stupid. So it'd be stupid. My name would be like Ethel.
You'd have to wear ankle-length skirts.
Yeah, and braids. One braid.
Anyway, so Dolores
Dolores
gets delivered to the church, and she's like, hell no, I'm not doing this. But finally, like, eventually gets convinced this is the best place for her. She has a hit on her. You know, this will protect her, yada, yada. So obviously she starts out a little bit bumpy. She has a bumpy exchange with Mother Superior. Love saying that. Who is Maggie Smith. Does she have like a Mary name? Everyone is Mary something.
Is that
right?
typical? Is that typical
so.
or atypical
I think
for
so.
convents that all the nuns have the same name?
Sister Mary Blank, right? So that's like kind of everybody.
But I've heard of other Mother Teresa. What was she? Wasn't Mary
Sister
Teresa?
Mary Teresa? No,
No,
Yeah,
I don't think
you're
they're
right.
all Mary.
Yeah, I don't think they're either, but there were several of them at this one. So anyway, so off to a rough start at the convent. So she, what does she do? So they go to like morning or the lunch meal, and she's kind of like, this food sucks, and like blah blah blah. And so she gets put on like fasting for the whole day. She looks at her bedroom and is like, why isn't there any furniture?
I mean, it's true. It's very bleak in there.
But they don't need material possessions.
No, but,
Upset
like-
there's no telephone. Upset that they have to go to bed at 9 p.m. Upset they have to get up at 5 a.m.
Listen, Dolores, I go to bed at 9 p.m. every night.
That seems like a gift.
And it is great. I highly recommend
Totally.
it. But yeah, she gets into some trouble because it's not like Mother Superior knows that she's not a real nun.
Right.
So, but she wants Dolores to act like a real nun
because
she's not.
Because the other nuns don't know.
The
and
other
can't
nuns
know.
don't know. Even though, like, who are they going to tell?
Right.
No one.
Right.
So I think it would have been secret safe with them. But whatever. Yeah, so she has to do a bunch of chores and shit. Here's some unfun nun things you have to do, I guess, when you live in a convent. Bed by 9, up at 5. I guess that's not fun. Eat gruel, as Sweetie pointed out. Probably some kind of stew with
like lentil
lentils,
soup.
beans. I don't know. No sex, not allowed. Still no word on masturbation. Gonna assume you cannot do that either. And then, what is that? Rattling. Is it the butter dish? And then, if you're lucky...
Sorry, guys. Just going to move the butter dish. Really loud butter dish.
Butter dish is out of control. If you're lucky, you get to make rosaries in crafting class.
Oh, that's what that
And I'm pretty sure, because at first I was like, oh, they got to make jewelry. But then I was like, why would they be making jewelry?
They
It's
get to wear
obviously
cute
rosary beads.
gardening hats and aprons and garden. That
Yes.
seems like fun.
That sounds like a fun activity. And she has to do chores. So these are like the unfun chores. They're like, scrub this graffiti off that will never come off with just this brush that we gave you. Like, is there something like magical on that brush? Like,
it's paint.
there's nothing more upsetting to me than watching someone like fruitlessly scrub graffiti off with just like a dry brush.
It's not chalk.
Oh my God. Washing the floor on your hands and knees also with just a brush. What the fuck? They got no mops in the convent? That seems like, of all the chores, that seems like the worst. And I said this also, I think, when we watched Cinderella, but like, what the fuck, you guys? Like, that is barbaric. It just like drives me nuts thinking about it.
When were mops invented? That was like an amazing invention.
I
when
don't
you
know.
didn't have to like bend down to
Like,
mop a
little
floor.
it's like, remember when our vacuum was broken and only like the little hose would work? So I'd be like on my hands and knees with the little hose, be like scrubbing the rug. Oh my god,
archaic
what a
vacuuming.
workout.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, so that's what she does. So she's not loving it. Calls the cop. Is like, you got to get me out of here. This totally sucks.
Right.
But in situations like this, what happens? She grows close to one or two nuns. Things start turning around. It's
Yep.
not so bad here.
Right. So she sneaks out one night. Does she go to the bar to just like let loose or to
I think so.
call somebody? Okay. So there's a bar across the street. So the church and the convent are in a very seedy part of what seems to be San Francisco. And there's a bar across the street, a disco joint, I believe it says. And she sneaks across there and is, I don't know, like just wanting to hang out with normal people. And then two nuns follow her, who ends up being her little like buddy nuns. So you have Kathy and Jimmy and then the baby nun. And they like follow her and she has to pretend she's like going to see a man about a car there, to buying a nun car. And they're having so much fun. Like Kathy and Jimmy, you can tell, is like not like a reluctant nun, but she certainly like enjoyed the like, you know, part of the world that, you know, the
It's not-
regular people
yeah.
stuff, you know?
The non-nuns
Yeah.
stuff.
So she like puts this thing in the jukebox and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, they have to go return to the convent and Mother Superior catches them, right? So she's now in like big trouble. Because not only is she
Trumps.
sneaking out, she's putting the other nuns in danger.
Yeah.
And that is not what Mother Superior wants. So
Nope.
she's like, listen,
No. Yeah.
here's
Last
your
chance.
punishment. You gotta be part of the chorus.
Now, why is so? The punishment, I'm assuming. Do we think that Mother Superior, she knew of her past,
Right.
that she was a lounge singer, also knows, and we know, that the choir is terrible as it stands today. So is she thinking she's punishing her, or is she like secretly like, I think she could do actually a lot of good as this, and maybe secretly wanted her to succeed? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think that's maybe it. I mean, I don't think she thought she was going to take it into the direction she did, but I think she thought she could provide like valuable guidance knowing her background as this professional singer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So she joins the chorus and immediately is like, you bitches need help. Here's how I'm going to help you. And instantly organizes everybody. So she organizes everyone into
It's-
bass, alto,
yeah.
sopranos, have them sing the different like octaves and all that stuff, whatever. I'm not into choir. I don't know anything about that stuff. But all of a sudden she has them singing like amazing
It's
within,
just like,
who knows what the
literally
time frame
like,
is. But
an hour. I don't know.
so
I don't know.
Not only does she have them singing, but she has put her own spin on it, if you will. So they sing, and you know, you gotta like kind of hand it to the Catholic Church that the music is very beautiful. If you ever attend a service or a mass, sorry, the singing was always my favorite part. It's really beautiful, and if you have a really nice choir, like it really kind of sets the mood, because Catholic churches are always gorgeous, right? I mean, that was the thing with Catholicism, is that they spent so much money on that shit and like nothing else. The opulence, right? So you go there and it's this like beautiful place, and then you hear this like beautiful choir singing, and you really do feel close to God. I mean, you could see why people would be like, you know, fall for that. Anyway, so they sing, you know, they start out singing a, I don't remember the song is, but it's like kind of like an Ave Maria.
Salve Regina.
Salve Regina or something like that. Really beautiful, technical choir thing. And then she flips it and starts it into like a, more like a gospel kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, da, 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 Salve Regina. And has like little solos that the women do. And it's just like, it's amazing. I mean, people are wait, is this? Oh yeah, this is the part where like people hear it outside and like walk in.
Yeah,
They're like, what's
and
that?
then these random street ragamuffins walk in and are like, "Hello, I heard music," and then I'm gonna be Catholic
show in
now.
here?
So yeah, so they come, and then all this like overnight. It seems like overnight, the church just blows up in a good way. Of people being like, "Yes."
Well, she gets yelled at first.
She gets yelled at first, and she's like, "You got to tone it down." Mother Superior's like, "No, no, no." But then all the positive feedback comes in. All the nuns are excited.
And the
priest is super excited. Everyone's excited. So Mother Superior's like, fine.
Yeah, because like for the first time they might have like new blood in the church, and this is like really exciting. And then they kind of tie that into like, let's actually do stuff for the community in this church, because it seemed like that the church was very had like a wall around it, both like literally and figuratively. They didn't really do stuff with the community. They were really scared of it. It was dangerous, all this stuff. And that was sort of the opposite of like Catholic teaching, right? Like you're supposed to be, you know, helpful to the poor and charitable and all that stuff. So this makes the priest be, and I think Dolores is the one who suggested it, like let's basically do like community outreach and like get people interested in the church, and we're going to do it by modernizing, guys.
Modern. Yeah, they paint a couple of cool murals. Have the kids come sing some cool hip doo-wop songs. They really spice up the joint, and it works because wow, this place is all over the news. Yep. In Reno, Nevada, they're getting news reports about a little church in San Francisco that is drawing crowds. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it myself, but unfortunately, close call, because Harvey Keitel and his wife are watching, and at just the moment he looks away from the screen, Dolores was on the screen. It was a total crisis that we averted, and that like nobody else saw that too, because they put a hit out on her and like sent her picture out to all these people. So really it's a miracle of God that nobody saw that. But the cop yells at her and is like, you have to be discreet, and he's like really surprised that she's changed and like really taken a liking to this. He comes to one of their shows. It's really sweet. Donates $10,000 to them. Is that the police money or his money? Or like, what are you taking home, Eddie? Like, call me. But yeah, so let's see. Next up. So we have a problem though. Problem in the police station, right? Yes. There's a mole. There's always a mole. Somebody's connected to the mob. Somebody's given them inside information, because in the past, when they have a witness, that witness usually ends up dead because somebody in the police told somebody in the mob, and then that person's dead. So Eddie's not telling anybody. He's buttoned up. So it's secret, it's safe with him, or so we think.
And he's the only one who knows.
He's the only one who knows.
That's how he was going to like tamp down on the mole.
Yeah.
However, he leaves the office one day, and some guy, like
loser,
bumbling idiot, comes with like the invoices for like, I don't like
the donations.
The donations
like
or something.
I don't know. Yeah.
And it made the mole guy being like, oh, he must have donated to something where Dolores is. I don't know how he like put two and two together. Anyway, flips through that and finds a invoice to the church. So he's like, that's where she is. Calls up Vince and is like, go get your girl. So
get her. Bad timing again, because the Pope is coming.
Yeah. So the Pope is coming. The Pope has heard it through the Catholic grapevine that, you know, there's some good stuff happening in this little church in San Francisco.
Someone was calling on the phone to tell them about the Dolores in San Francisco. That's right.
Except for the Pope may be in Rome. Good song. So luckily, Pope's coming. You know, very exciting. They're going to put the concert on for him. Mother Superior wants, you know, traditional hymns, all that, hymns and stuff like that. And luckily puts it to a vote, and everyone's like, hey, no, we want to do the doo-wop shit. So they're going to do the modern stuff. Awesome. So Vince knows now where Dolores is, so he sends his goons to go get her. And luckily, Eddie finds out almost at the exact same time that the mole, has called him. So he takes a private jet to the San Francisco.
Is he a millionaire? So awesome. What is happening?
Yeah. Go police department. And is able to
Reno
intersect
police
her
department, please.
Just in time, and is like, we got to get you out of here. They know where you are. But Dolores is a changed woman. she no longer cares really about her life. She's more invested in her job as being this choir leader to these women who find it, you know, is like the highlight of their life that they're getting to perform for the Pope, and she cannot let them down. So she's really like grown as a person here. She has this like responsibility, which she's never had before. So she's really to put her life on the line.
Amazing.
I know.
Oh my God. But unfortunately, again, at that moment, the goons come and take her and baby
Is it
nun.
from the Goon Squad?
The goon squad. So put them in a car. She pushes the baby nun out the taxi, thank God, because then the baby nun runs to Eddie and is like, listen, I got her. This is exactly where they're going, they said. I mean, some goons were really bad.
Yeah.
They're
But they're always
terrible.
bad. That's why they're goons.
That's why they're goons. So Eddie chases after. I don't know where he thinks. I mean, he knows they're going to Reno, but like, why
Moonlight
does he
Lounge.
chase? Yeah, but like, he gets in the car. They both drive to Reno.
Because he knows they're in a car, so I think he's trying to get them
But
on the way.
but are the goons and Dolores driving to Reno?
Yeah.
Eddie couldn't catch up with them that whole time. I don't know. I have doubts. But the nuns take matters into their own hand, hijack by shame praying the helicopter pilot to give them a lift. All those nuns can fit in that helicopter. It
Pretty
seems
sure like
it
four
seems
people
unsafe.
max can fit into a helicopter.
It's probably unsafe, but again,
guess they
God,
prayed their way.
God was on their side.
But
so,
then it becomes nuns take over Reno,
nuns
which
take
is so
over
fun.
Reno. They're like losing their shit. They're like, I've never seen this. This is amazing. They're like in the casino. Everyone's like, what is happening? They like spread out and find Dolores, and then the goons are all confused and like they're supposed to kill her, but they don't want to because she's a nun. And it's this whole thing of like, I can't kill a nun. They're like, she's not a nun, but then she's acting like a nun, so it's good. She's smart. She's a smart gal, like I said. So big standoff, final standoff, yeah. And they're getting ready to kill her, and then boom, Eddie shoots Vince through the window, pow, in the arm. They arrest him. Done. Deed is done. Nuns go back to San Francisco, perform for the Pope. It's a great performance. The Pope is like dancing in his seat. JP the second, you know, miss that bitch. He was rocking out. So good times.
So easy to find a Pope double with that guy.
Just
I mean,
a little old man.
You plop the little like whatever
Pope
that
hat.
thing is. Not yarmulke, but whatever like the little hat is that they wear. Just a little like skull cap.
Would you call that the casual Pope attire?
I like the big Pope
his
hat.
civvies?
I mean the
Yeah.
one where he's
The
in
big one?
in the parade with the Pope mobile.
Yeah, sure.
That's the
Yeah,
hat,
that's a
man.
good one.
It's like called something. I forget what it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so the Pope's like loving it, and Dolores is now, you know, back as she really is dressed as more like a choir director. So obviously she's not a nun, so she takes
She let
all
her
that
hair
off,
down.
and she has her nice big hair now, her hoop earrings. She's back to being like actual Dolores, and they do a great job, and you know everyone is so proud of her, and you know they did good things. So happy ending.
Woo!
All is well. And then we get into Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit. And I'm not sure totally what the plot of that is, but I just know that Lauren Hill is in it, and I bet it's amazing.
What?
Yes, we have to watch. That is the one that everyone like
I know.
freaks out about. Like we might have to watch.
Yeah, we have
that
to
one
watch it like
casually.
tomorrow.
Yeah, and maybe not cover it, but we'll just.
Why wouldn't we cover it?
Well, then when are we going to cover it?
At some point when we
But I
want
wanna
to.
watch it like tomorrow.
All the same people are in it. It's great.
Oh, about Lauren Hill. What's the plot?
Dolores Van Cartier returns as Sister Mary Clarence to teach music to a group of Catholic students whose rundown school is slated for closure.
Nice. Okay. So the songs in that one are supposed to be like really good, and like actually kind of wanted to download the soundtrack to this one. I'm into it. So yeah, such a good movie, feel good flick, so, like really funny, really sweet. All the performances so good, music amazing. I mean, what else can you say? Nothing.
Nothing really.
We're done. Okay, bye. Okay.
Thanks for listening. Bye. I mean, although I think I covered most of my questions, unfortunately, because I did want to talk about why are they all named Mary. I understand it. What would your nun Mary name be if you were nun? Sister Mary.
Sister Mary Catherine. My middle name's Kathleen. I mean,
I think it has to be a man's name as the second one.
Bullshit.
Well, that's all these: Mary Clarence, Mary Lazarus, Mary Patrick, Mary Robert.
I don't know. I don't know the nun rules.
Well, okay. How about Sister Mary Andrew?
That's yours?
Andrews, yeah.
Nice. I like that.
That's me.
I like it.
I
like it a lot.
Witness
you got nothing else?
protection. St.
I got a lot of stuff.
Catherine's. Okay, go. Yeah,
Okay.
you start. I
Okay.
have one thing that I will save.
Fun fact. So I think I confused this movie with Kindergarten Cop because of the similar beginnings of someone like witnessing a hit or a murder and then being like, ah.
Wait, what is the Kindergarten Cop one again?
Well, it's remember the girl is hiding in the box in like when her boyfriend, the drug addict, gets like shot by that guy.
But who is he protecting in Kindergarten Cop again?
No, the little
He has to figure out who the son of the bad guy is.
that's how they know
Now
the
I'm
bad
blanking.
guy's gonna go try to get his son or
Is
something.
it witness protection?
No, it's not witness protection at all, but I'm just like the beginning murder and then someone like has to do something. That might be a lot of movies, but in my childhood mind, that was like the same
All right.
movie and I
Sure.
confused them.
Sure.
So I just wanted to say that.
Arnold,
Fun fact.
Whoopi, very confusing.
Yeah. Okay. I wanted to mention the sort of B-level nuns in this because there were a couple and they weren't the stars of the movie, but you see their faces. And even in a habit, you're like, that face looks familiar. Because again, you don't have hair, so you're like, I don't know. Okay, there were 3. Ready? Rosie from The Wedding Singer. Meatballs.
Always been a singer.
Yep.
She's, yeah.
She's a sweet little nun
Yep.
in this. I mean,
Soprano.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yep, she's a soprano. Orange is the new black nun. Also a nun in this. In real life,
Get right.
almost was a nun, decided against it, and became a music teacher instead.
Get right out of town.
But she ends up being cast as nuns a lot.
Yeah.
So good for you.
She got a nun face.
I mean, that's kind of the best scenario ever, right? Because you're like, you wanted to be a nun, didn't work out, but now
I
you
thought
get
you
to
meant, like,
play a
in
nun
general.
all
I
the
was
time.
like, I don't know.
Not bad,
Yeah,
not bad.
sure, for her, yeah.
And then the choir nun, who Sister Mary Clarence takes over the job, and they kind of are like butting heads, but then become pretty much buds, is Aunt March from Little Women.
Woo.
So that was good. Love that one.
Familiar. So that was really just a sweetie familiar face. What did we used to call
Yeah.
that? Hey, I know that. Hey, I know that guy or whatever.
Yeah. Or Sweetie Alumni.
Sweetie alumni.
Sweetie Alumni.
That
We
was
haven't done
a little. We haven't
that
done
segment in a while.
We haven't done like any of our segments in a while.
I know.
Why are people still listening?
tired,
Hello. Yeah, that's good. There's some these aren't famous, the other B-level nuns, but I kept recognizing so many of them and being like, who is that? And then the one with the big glasses who had like a weird accent. What was that accent? It's like German or something.
Yeah.
She was my favorite. I don't know why. I think it was the accent, but she was my favorite B-level nun.
Yeah. I mean, again, I want to shout out to Maggie Smith, who I think is the most like perfect person ever. And I just like love her and seeing her in things and seeing her do dialogue or listening to her do dialogue is like my favorite thing. I don't know. She's just like the greatest.
It's just like spreading smooth butter on a piece of toast.
Totally.
It's like,
just
what?
love it. It's like getting a
Perfect.
British hug or something.
Yeah,
or
it's great.
It's like a tea cozy. I don't know.
Yeah. She's the cozy, or you're she's
like-
she's the cozy, you're the teapot.
I'm the teapot, and the
Yeah.
cozy's just like
She's
coming
like,
on.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
makes sense. Got it.
Love it.
We're there.
I wanted to talk about any other good nun movies that you might think, because we talked about in the beginning how, always fun to throw in a nun, right? Good stuff, good times. Or just any nun movies that have left impressions on you. It doesn't have to be like good.
So obviously, The Sound of Music.
Oh, stop. And obviously, Baby Nun reminded me of The Sound of Music because Maria is a baby nun. And
Oh, sorry, if she is.
yeah, she doesn't follow through, and she's like
Right,
trying to like kind of get to that point. But how do you solve a
Problem
problem
like
like Maria? So good. Love that movie. We're gonna do Sound of Music eventually, guys. One of my favorites.
We haven't done it?
We
Oh,
were
yeah, I
obsessed with the
guess
soundtrack as kids. We used to act out many of the things, or maybe it was just me. High
you.
on a hill was a lonely
it was
goat
just-
herd, lady, oodle, lady, oodle.
It was too. I'll be honest, too long. The movie is too long.
It is really long.
It's going to be a difficult one for me to get through.
That's gonna have to be a matinee for us. We'll have to watch it on a Saturday
right.
morning, and then
All right.
then
Great.
a brunch podcast.
Brunch
Get into
cast.
that.
Great.
Okay, Sound of Music. Check.
Sound of Music. So there is a horror movie
That's
called.
what I thought of for you.
Oh, well, this not that one, but this is a horror movie called The Devils from the 60s or 70s. Highly controversial. Basically, you got a lot of nuns who go crazy and like naked. There's a lot of naked nun action. You know who's in this movie? Vanessa Redgrave. Top notch. But that's always what I think of when I think of nuns, especially British nuns like Maggie Smith. And then there was the recent horror movie, The Nun. We called our dog Sunny the Nun, so that always just makes me think
So when
it's a
they were
movie about
running
her.
around the casino and like there's a bunch of nuns and the goons are all confused because they're like, which one is Dolores? And it reminded me of the horror movies and how nuns do look kind of sketchy when it's like
Kind of
a
sketchy.
black figure. And you did have a majority of these nuns are like quite tall ladies.
Well, yeah, and that's the scariest thing. Yeah.
Yes.
No, thank you.
Right. So that, and just that, yeah. So the whole thing is like, you understand why they made a horror movie about it because it's like
So that scene
sketchy.
in Death Becomes Her when he goes to the morgue and the nuns are like, oh, but they're like floating. Oh my God, I hate that scene so much. It's so
they are
scary.
creepy.
There's the scariest. Maybe that's why I was apprehensive about watching this movie.
So here's two other ones. Okay, this one I have not seen, but when we started watching this movie, I was like, sweetie, do you remember this movie where, like, I think, this one, obviously you have a woman hiding out in a nunnery. Great plot. There's also one where, like, men hide out in or dress as priests or something like that. And so it was this movie, We're No Angels, with Sean Penn and Robert De Niro, who are, like, criminals, and they hide out and pretend to be priests to, like, escape the law or something like that.
It's a loaded symbol.
So, yeah, haven't seen that, but another one. And then, listeners of the podcast, I hope you have seen this movie because this is one that's haunted me, like, my entire life. Again, always played on, like, UPN on, like, Saturday mornings, and I would, like, watch it and be way too young for it. Okay, it was called Agnes of God. I guess it's based on a true story and then was, like, a play and then a movie. It stars Jane Fonda, Anne Bancroft,
Yeah.
and the girl, this young nun, like, delivers a baby in the middle of the night, and it's dead, or she kills it, or something like that. And they send in Jane Fonda, who's a psychiatrist, to figure out, like, what went wrong. And you're trying to figure out, like, was it, like, because the nun doesn't know anything about sex, doesn't know how babies are created. Like, did someone break in and rape her? Like, you just never even figure it out. But it's just like Jane Fonda
You never
talking to
figure
this
it out?
nun. No, that's the frustrating thing about this movie.
Didn't she win an award for that? Did she win like an Oscar for that or something?
Yes, so she was nominated for an Oscar, as was Anne Bancroft, and as was Megan Tilly, who was the nun in that. And it's like a play, right? So it's supposed to. The Jane Fonda character is very, like, not into religion, lapsed Catholic, if you will. And so it's, like, examining that kind of stuff. And, like, anyway, really good. I don't think we can cover it for the podcast, but I want to see it again. I'm sure some listeners, especially from Massachusetts, would, I don't know, they played it, like, all the time. It's like an 80s movie.
I don't know. Here's some other ones. Nuns on the Run from 1990.
That's another one where criminals are, like, dressed as nuns.
Robbie Coltrane. Bumbling gangsters who
Yes.
disguise themselves as holy sisters. Geesh. The Other Hell. No, most of these are horror movies. The Devils. That's the one I was talking about. Killer Nun. Nice. The Exorcist 3. One of my favorites. So, not a nun. She's a nurse, but whatever. We'll let it slide. Star Wars The Last Jedi. Those weird frog things were nuns. Okay. The Blues Brothers. Yes. Yeah. So there's a funny nun scene in that. The Town, they wore nun masks. I don't know if that counts. Seems a little fringe. School of the Holy Beast. Yeah, I mean, there's mostly the convent. Yeah, I think it was. I think it was in the beginning. Oh, The Sentinel. I love The Sentinel. That's another horror movie.
Yeah, a lot of horror movies.
Yeah, a lot of horror movies with nuns because we've decided that nuns are creepy. No Da Vinci Code. There were nuns in that.
Oh, yeah.
They got killed. One got killed. So you can kill a nun, turns out.
Well, it's a weird thing, and I feel like, this just is basically just the patriarchy and bullshit. But it seems like the nuns have way less fun than, like, priests or monks, and I think that's bullshit. I know they all have to be celibate and stuff like that, but, like,
what kind of fun are the monks having? You mean the monks from Karate, the next Karate
it's
Kid
not
who
like
get
a
to go
different thing.
Zen bowling?
Are monks like? No, I'm talking about, like, Catholic monks.
Are there Catholic monks?
Yeah, right. What are, like,
What
the
are Catholic
Capuchin monks? What are, like,
That's
Franciscan
like
monks?
a kind of monkey.
No, yes, there are the monks. I thought were, like, nun adjacent, and then you have priests, which are just like the
who are
higher
abbots?
level
Who
of
are
that.
abbots?
That's like an abbot is like the Protestant religion priests, right?
Oh my god. Okay. What is a monk? Is a person who practices religious something by living alone or with a number of monks. Monk devoted to all of his life to a religion.
I think every religion has
A monk.
Yeah.
Separates himself from society and lives in either alone or in an organized community. So, yeah. Yeah, Christianity. A man who has withdrawn from the world for religious reasons. So, it's a little different because nuns don't, like, withdraw from the world necessarily. Yeah.
But it's like, and like that's like the highest level of the women, obviously Catholic stuff is this like mother superior figure, because we can't be like popes or priests or anything like that. We can't be like leaders, but hopefully that'll change someday, because
Who wants to be
there's women rabbis.
No thanks. Pass. It's bullshit.
No, but just like to be like a spiritual leader like that. Like, why do you have to be a man? It's dumb.
Yeah.
Dumb. Okay, and then mostly I just have some trivia stuff.
Woo!
Okay, so the original woman who was kind of signed on to this film was Bette Midler. So imagine this movie with Bette Midler, if you will.
Also good.
And you could. And I will say that, like, I don't think Whoopi Goldberg really has, like, a great voice. I'm pretty sure that was her voice, because it sounded like her,
maybe
sort of.
once in a while, but sometimes it seemed weird.
But, like, the ending was, like, pretty bad. Like, she was, like, did a lot of the singing. I was like, ooh, it's, like, not that great. And you can imagine if Bette Midler did it, maybe, like, the singing would be, like, a little bit better. But, like, that's not the point. But I loved how, because it was a person of color being brought into, like, the all-white nunnery, like, that added this level, a little bit more of her. Like I said before, she's known as, like, worldly. And because she's supposed to be this, like, lounge singer. But I just liked how there was that, like, dynamic of it, right?
Yeah.
So I think that would work way better than like a Bette Midler.
Yeah.
So it also said that this script had like a ton of rewrites. So the original guy, Scott Rudin, I think, was the original screenplay writer, and because it got changed so many times, he didn't want to be like associated. He like used a pen name or something like that. And one of the people who was brought in to rewrite the script, and specifically Whoopi Goldberg requested her, was Carrie Fisher. Cool.
Script doctor.
Yeah, which she did. If you do some research, that was something that she did a lot.
That's why I said that.
Not you. I knew you knew that, but I didn't know if they knew that.
I said that. Well, I said it like I didn't know. No. Like I said it. No. Duh.
So this movie was nominated for 2 Golden Globes. So, I mean, I think it was well received at the time. For Best Musical or Comedy. So, the Golden Globes they do Best Picture, they have like 2 categories. So the drama and the comedy. So, great. And then Best Actress for Whoopi. Woo! Awesome. So that's good. Proud of that. And then they made a Broadway show out of it, which I haven't seen, but you could see how that would really work.
Is it still playing? Is it still
I don't think it's still playing, but like I could see that being a real nice transition there. So great. And then kind of lastly, they had a great like anecdote from the filming of this. So they did a lot of the filming in Reno for reals. Can't really like do that city on a soundstage. Yeah. You just got to go there, which is cool. Biggest little city in the world, guys. Always wanted to go there.
Really?
Cool.
Seems terrible.
So they did a lot of filming there, and so they were wearing their nun costumes like all around. So Kathy and Jimmy and then the woman who played the baby nun were like in a hotel room, and they thought it would be funny to like, and a lot of them pulled pranks like the entire time they were filming, wearing their nun stuff and like trying to fool people and gamble and swear and just like be funny. So Kathy and Jimmy and then the baby nun had like ordered room service, and they answered the door in their nun costumes, and then they had porn like blaring on the TV, and one nun like raptured with it, and like all this booze everywhere and stuff, and just like the wait staff being like,
oh my god,
awesome.
Crazy. Oh, so I did have one nitpick, and it's that I think that the baby nun, Sister Mary Roberts, needs to work on her lip syncing a little bit, because
she did not.
So she gets, for some reason, turns into this like amazing singer, basically a black woman. It sounds like she's like, okay, well,
did a black woman do the singing?
I don't know, but it's very soulful, and it does not fit like with her body at all, and she's not like doing enough.
Christina Aguilera.
But Christina Aguilera, when she's singing, you can tell she's singing because she's like using every like part of her body to like sing, and Baby Nun is just like standing there like like casually like like no, she
just opens her mouth.
Yeah, she doesn't do any like other like. It's not like it doesn't look hard for her. Like that is not you singing. So I just wish she was just a little better in the lip syncing department. We can't all be experts, but you know what do you know? But that was my one thing. But I thought it was funny too. So good times.
Yeah,
good times.
Yeah, and I think in general, as I said to Sweetie when we were watching this, like, why didn't the Catholic Church take a page out of Sister Act and fucking modernize? Because that is what, you know, as lapse Catholics, and I think we did a ton of talk about Catholicism and our experiences as kids in Catholicism. Check out our Exorcist podcast. Really dove into it with that one. And that's how we were raised, and obviously we don't go to church anymore. But the issue with Catholicism is that they just don't seem to really modernize. And this was like a good way to see like how that could be done and how you could bring people into the church and all that stuff. And it's, you know, that could be a thing, but also what we talked about, like they haven't, you know, relaxed anything about like gay marriage or abortion or let women have leadership positions. So it's like, dude, come on. And I know the Pope Francis, who is supposed to be like basically the most modern Pope we've had, has still not been like either doesn't want to do it or just hasn't felt comfortable or whatever. Dude, you want to get people to go to church? Like fucking modernize. Like, it's insane. Like, come on.
Yeah.
So priests out there, if you're listening, do you listen to this podcast?
Do you listen?
You should change your ways. I'm just saying.
Totally. Cool. Okay. Well, do you like Sister Act? I'm sure you like Sister Act. I'm sure you're gonna yell at us for not watching Sister Act.
Hey, we watched it.
I know, but like for not having gone back in the DeLorean and been like, oh no, just kidding. Sister Act is my favorite movie as a child. But come find us on Twitter at The Sweetie Club or on Instagram at Large Marge Sent Us. Thank you, as always, for listening. Also, bad news, no episode next week because I'm going to be in Italy.
Buongiorno, buonasera.
Nuts. Sweetie might do a solo podcast. I doubt it, but she floated that today.
Buon voyage.
Would
you guys want to hear a solo podcast? Would that be weird? Would it just be crickets? I'd be like, hey,
I think it would be super awkward.
This is Sweetie.
And I do not want to be a part of it.
But it'd just be like a mini ep. Just to like
what are you going to talk about?
I don't know.
No, I'm already embarrassed. I'm already embarrassed.
I'm going to do it just to spite you. This is amazing.
I didn't do one when all the times you left me and I was by myself.
So anyway, everyone, wish Sweetie a bon voyage. And off to Italy she goes. Then, she's going to Torino. And she's going to eat a lot of prosciutto.
Oh my God. Okay.
And it's going to be so fun.
Right, stop being stereotyping.
That's how they speak. I've been there. I've lived there for months.
I know.
But yeah, no podcast next week, guys. But we'll catch you on the flip side
Week after. Spice World.
Thank
you, Sarah, for sending us Spice World. You rock. All right. Bye.
Bye.